50 Cent and Pop Smoke shared one similarity that was a key to their success. And here's a habit that not too many people have, but it's a small habit that is very strong in building your success. First of all, let's hear from Gene Deal and how he talks about the habit that 50 Cent had. Check it out.
It was just me and 50, and we was just talking. 50 was the type of dude, he was young, and he would just write everything. You know, you be talking to him, and he be writing down. That's why I think that song he got called Hands Up or Up in Here or something like that. He said, I got the Savoir Faire. I told him what Savoir Faire mean. That was my company. You know what I'm saying? Or Get Up, I think that's the song or whatever like that.
So basically what Gene Deal is saying is that 50 Cent was always taking notes. He was always writing stuff down to make sure he would go over it later so he would know what's going on, and also it will make him more successful and also ahead of the pack. You know, when you writing stuff down, it's so much to it when you writing stuff down because it increases your memory. But that is one thing that 50 Cent, a strong habit that 50 Cent had. Now, let's hear what 50 Cent had to say about Pop Smoke. And here's where it gets crazy. Check it out.
Next, you see Pop Smoke. That was one of my favorites, man. I like that. Oh, God, I really like that, man. I met him. We was talking. And I was like, yo, I'm watching him, right? Just keep playing with his phone. Like, you know, these little niggas play with their phone all the time, bro. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with this nigga, right? I'm going, what the fuck he keep playing with his phone for, right? I'm in the meeting. I swear to God, it's really what happened, man. And Pop Smoke couldn't see me, right? He go, yo. They sitting in there, him and his man, right? He go, yo, look. He on the phone. He like, yo, what you say? He go, he looking at his phone. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this little nigga, right? I'm like, yo, hold up. I get up, because I'm trying to see what the fuck is he doing, right, with his phone. Like, he keep looking at his phone. I swear to God, the nigga was writing what I said down. He was writing it down. I looked, I said, oh, shit. See, it's a difference between copying you. That's not copying. That's not copying. He never copied one thing from me. He just looked at it. He saw what was good in it. It influenced him, and he was doing his own thing with it. I love this shit, man. I fell in love with the nigga at that point. I fell in love with that nigga. I was like, yo, it's like, what's the matter? Yo, I like this nigga, man. I didn't know what the fuck. I was like, what else? I didn't even know how. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, he was sitting there, he was writing it. He was writing down what I was saying. It. So I'm like, I'm thinking, just not paying attention. And he was like, nah, this nigga, whatever 50's saying, I gotta pay attention to this.
And there you have it. This is one of the reasons why 50 Cent had a liking towards Pop Smoke, is because he did exactly what 50 Cent did, was write things down. Anything he heard that was important, Pop Smoke had to put it in his phone. And therefore, 50 Cent liked that because that was very similar, just like what 50 Cent did, as Gene Deal was talking about, the experience that he had with 50 Cent, where he was telling him things, he was writing stuff down. So by 50 Cent seeing the same quality that he had, he automatically had a liking towards Pop Smoke. But we're going to drop some gems for you all. We're going to give you 3 reasons why you have to write things down and the benefits of writing things down. Check it out.
Today we're looking at something pretty simple, actually.
Okay.
Putting pen to paper.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some really cool research on just how powerful that can be.
Yeah.
And I think by the end of this, you'll really see why it's not just about taking notes.
Right.
This is like a secret weapon for your brain.
I know, it's funny, isn't it? Because in our digital world, we kind of assume that typing is just as good.
Yeah.
But the science really says something else.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what we're going to dig into today.
Absolutely.
The research we're looking at highlights 3 major benefits, starting with memory.
Okay.
I've always felt like writing things down just helps me remember them better,
Yeah.
but I never really knew why.
Yeah, well, so there's a lot going on in our brains when we write by hand.
Okay.
It activates different areas like the hippocampus, which is like our brain's filing system for memories.
Okay.
And the prefrontal cortex, which helps with focusing attention and processing information. The actual act of forming the letters on the page strengthens those neural pathways,
Okay.
making it much easier to recall that information later.
So it's not just about seeing the words, it's that
Yeah.
physical act of writing
Yeah.
that makes such a difference. That's incredible.
It's wild.
Okay, so what about the second benefit? Clarity and focus. How does writing help with that?
Sure. So imagine like you're working on some big project and your mind is just buzzing with ideas, deadlines, to-dos, all that.
Right.
Writing those down is kind of like taking a mental snapshot.
Okay.
You externalize the internal chaos
Right.
and create this visual representation that you can then break down, organize, prioritize.
That's such a great way to put it.
Thanks.
It's like decluttering your mind the same way you would declutter a physical space.
Totally.
Speaking of decluttering, the research also points to this connection between writing and stress reduction.
Interesting.
That seems almost counterintuitive,
right.
especially when we're talking about things like to-do lists, which
Yeah.
can feel pretty stressful.
Sure, yeah. But think about the difference between having all those tasks swirling around in your head versus actually having them written down. When we put our worries on paper, it's like giving them a physical form outside of ourselves. And allows us to step back a little bit, examine them, challenge them maybe even.
Right.
And it can really lessen their emotional weight.
It's like you're sharing the burden.
Exactly.
Okay. So we've got improved memory,
Yeah.
greater clarity, and even reduced stress.
That's right.
That's a pretty compelling case for keeping a pen and paper handy.
For sure. For sure. I think that the takeaway here is that writing isn't just this practical tool. It's a powerful tool for thinking, for learning, for well-being.
So how can people listening, harness this power in their own lives?
Yeah, I would say experiment a little bit. Keep a journal, write down some reflections on your day, even just make a really detailed grocery list.
Okay.
Just start paying attention to how the act of writing makes you feel. See if you notice any shifts in your focus, memory, stress levels. You might be surprised.
I love that challenge. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of writing.
Absolutely.
It's clear that even in our crazy digital age,
It's true.
the power of putting pen to paper should not be underestimated.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep writing.
Couldn't agree more.